become an assistant, or he might try to, like he did. I don't blame him for calling Lenny and trying to pluck Lenny.
Yeah.
But I even thought about that too. But I was like, Lenny's not going to leave Lipscomb for Sanford. I mean, I think he likes the administration that he's working for. He's getting good players.
Yeah.
Like he's just coming off of the NCAA tournament berth. I don't see that. I don't see that being an option. I don't think Ray Harper's a fit. He's an older guy, and he's kind of like a Schulman. I don't think Schulman would be a fit.
No.
I do think Mick would be, but again, Mick has done a heck of a job at Berry in 1 year at UAH, but he has a limited Rolodex. So
I
we'll see.
saw Pool Hole got a better deal.
Oh, you knew that was going to happen.
Yeah,
He was going to leverage that. That's why I don't think he would leave. He's not going to leave UNA. It's a good. They're in a good spot. I mean, I'll be honest. When Bucky took the Sanford job, it was a bad job.
Yeah.
He took it because it was a unique opportunity. And he didn't have to move, and then he leveraged it into an SEC job. But it's a lot more attractive now. But I still think you need the right fit. So we'll see. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if he would leave, but the way Bucky coaches and the way they play, why the fuck would Newton call the guy at Nova?
Well, he's up there in age.
I know he's an older guy. I guess he's in his 60s, but
Almost 70, I think.
okay. And that's probably why.
But I'd make him tell me no. I mean, given what he's done, even if I only have him for like 2 or 3 years, you're at least in the right direction.
And then until he took the McNeese job, I would have thought Bill Armstrong would have been a candidate. But he's already taken a job,
Yep.
so that's tough. I don't know. Somebody even reached out to me today and said, "Is Schweers a candidate?" And I was like, "I don't see that."
I don't see that.
I said he's done a great job at Huntsville. He got a courtesy interview at UAH, and he does know Bucky, but he hasn't. Bucky was just a unique guy that kind of took the whole city by storm. He won a bunch of state titles. Schweers is still building the Huntsville program. He's gotten it to a very high level, but not to where I think he's a candidate at Sanford. I mean, I don't know what Bucky's final salary was at Sanford. He had to be pushing $1 million because they gave him 2 to 3 raises. They were aggressive, but again, I don't know. If I were them, I would just see kind of who fit.
I'm here.
I certainly wouldn't hire a Kenny Payne.
You got a couple of minutes.
But I don't know. I haven't. And I've been looking at the national guys. Nobody said who's in the mix. But I don't know. I sure as hell wouldn't hire Tom Crean. But I will say this.
So far off the radar.
No, a guy that I think you could run it up a flagpole is Baroni over at SIU Edwardsville. Tony Baroni's son. His name came up with a couple of higher major jobs or group of 5 type, above the SoCon, but where he won it, I guess, in the OVC, and to me, that's SoCon's a better league, so I would try maybe to hire him and see if Baroni, and he comes from a good coaching tree. It's not easy to win at SIU Edwardsville. He's young. That would probably be a little bit better fit, I would think. So we'll see.
You know who? My drink Josh got for me.
Oh, you got your wine or something?
No. I got Coke. Come on, man.
It was in a wine glass.
I know. I did it for the camera. We are on camera.
Oh, wait. What's up? That's cool.
You are calling Wes. Thank you.
But Wes, I don't think he went to the scrimmage. I did. I went to the scrimmage Friday. needless to say that some of these people that watch these scrimmages, I think there is something like wine in their drinks that they watch. Some of the feedback I get, it's got to be something alcoholic. Well, you should have seen some of the feedback I got from Kerry Clark and the people he spoke to. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Lord.
Yeah. You put.
Thank you. Well, way to start the week off right here at Carrabba's Italian Grill. I mean, come on. Along with Drudy Arman, Steve Moulton here with you live from Carrabba's Italian Grill. You can head over to our YouTube page as well and check us out there on YouTube. There we are. How we doing, everybody? This is another reason why Wes is not a part of the program.
Yeah.
As we are on camera here, and we made the main room. This is the main room.
Hey, man, I had to renew my driver's license today. And for the first time since, let's see, 1994, I changed my weight.
Okay.
There you
Okay.
go. And I had to change my address, too. Because when I renewed the last time, I moved just a couple months later. We all know what happened there. So.
That's Wes Neighbors,
There you go.
who is on the phone there with us. What do you say there, Wes? Yeah, always in the main room.
Yeah.
How are you, Wes?
You would enjoy this, Wes. We're right next to the kitchen.
Oh, my, yeah, you can smell the smells here inside the Italian grill is fantastic.
You know, the youth now, they use the term cooked all the time. They're cooking. Yeah. Yeah.
I really had to twist his arm when I said a Carrabba's Italian Grill. I'm there. But, by the way, you can head over to our website, 977espn.com. Click on the upper left banner, which I'm doing currently right now. Savings never tasted so good. Get $50 of Carrabba's Italian Grill for only $25 and enjoy some Carrabba's Italian Grill. All right, Wes, what did you hear from scrimmage number 2 from over the weekend? Did you hear anything? Give us some scoop if you got some scoop. Drew, what did you hear out of Friday?
Well, I will say this, and it's high praise, and I said this on another one of our good friend shows just less than an hour ago. But I knew, and I saw some video of him early, and I started hearing good things, on the All-Star circuit, and when he committed, and then of course, but when you get them on campus is when you really start understanding if they can make the transition. But I think, and I've never been shy about saying who I thought was the best player of the Nick Saban era in 17 years. The best player was Nick Fitzpatrick, in my opinion. The best complete football player, in my opinion, was Nick that played for Coach. And he made an impact the first friggin' game. And let's not even forget, he didn't even enroll early, okay? He got there in June and started the first game to show you how good he was. Just like when Herb Street called Herbie over and said, hey, 29, what's the story? And Kirby just looked at him and said, this is a different one. And he just watched him. And he would come off the field and immediately stand next to Saban. Just keep, absorbing everything. And so we know what he did in 3 years. I think the same thing is happening with Dijon Lee. He was a corner for Alabama right now. He's getting a ton of reps because Demonte Jackson's not practicing. Because Alabama right now doesn't have 5 starters that are basically hurt or whatever, they're taking the spring off. But Dijon's getting a ton of reps. And basically, from what I was hearing, he was the best player on the field Thursday. And I mean, or Friday, excuse me.
I know. It's all good.
But yeah,
one weekday that's not a Saturday.
Well, I mean, just there's no scrimmages on a Saturday anymore, which is just insane.
Except for this Saturday.
Thursday, Friday. No. Yeah. Well, no. It's seriously like Wes just said. It's Thursday, Friday, Thursday, and then an open practice on Saturday.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
I plan to attend that practice, but still, that's what you're hearing, that he's dominant, and I think he has a chance to have an impact. When D-Jack gets back, you'll have him and Xavier Brown at the corners, and then one of the other breakouts, Bray Hubbard at safety, and Saab should be back. But I think they'll play him at nickel like they did Minka. And, of course, he's bigger than Minka. He's a legit 6'4", but he seems to have that, just from talking to people, that same, nose for the football IQ, the way he moves. Right. That's a good point.
That's very fair.
Well, it's Cannonball Run's what it is. Our good friend Brandon sent me the beginning of Cannonball Run again in 1984.
Really.
And I thought this has got to be a Georgia guy. Because Catherine Bach got out of the car and put up 155 as the speed limit.
So, Wes, let's move over to another positive story, and that would be your bracket. How's your bracket looking, Wes?
Well, if Duke would have won, I'd have had the 2 in the finals.
Me too.
That might be the worst meltdown in history.
It was depressing.
Yeah, so you're up by 6 with the ball with under a minute left. 45.
Unbelievable.
I think with like 29 seconds.
No way you're supposed to lose that game. But hats off
was
to
like,
Houston.
Oh, yeah.
When you watch Houston play, they kind of look like Alabama. in the first half. You know, the difference is they hit 3 3-pointers right before half and made it a game.
Yeah.
But kept them in it. And then they fought, and then won it at the end. And, you know, you just got to take your hat off to those guys because they could have given up a bunch of different times and never did.
No, you're exactly right, and it's just typical Kelvin Sampson. He doesn't take any excuses, even when they got the tough technical foul on the delay of game.
Yeah.
Kugler, the same kid, got the big time dunk off of the missed three for Houston because Duke had the disastrous turnover. They couldn't inbound the ball, and Houston took a quick three and actually missed it, but he beat 2 lottery picks to the ball, dunked it back through, and then they fouled Tyrese Proctor, who up until that game, it had a great NCAA tournament, but it was a forgettable afternoon or evening for Tyrese, and he misses that front end, and then we know what happened.
The first time in the history of ever, I predicted the final 2 matchups here tonight. In fact, I have a fire emoji next to my name because I have accurately predicted 97.1% of this tournament.
Well, who do you have winning? I have the Gators winning.
I have Houston winning.
Oh, okay, so you're taking the Cougars.
I think that means, Steve, you're in the 90th percentile of all people who pick.
Oh, no. My national ranking is 647,462.
Yeah, but that would be in the top 97%. Right?
That's true. I'm in 21st place in our group. Brought to you by Talent Heating and Air. Appreciate the fine folks at Talent Heating and Air. I'm in 21st place.
Right. I'm like you, Wes, though. I had Duke winning, and it looked good for the majority of the game, but they just couldn't finish it. And it was my worry with the Blue Devils the whole tournament because they had not faced game pressure much all season. The last they had was when they blew a big lead against Carolina in the ACC tournament. They found a way to win that, and they had really faced no game pressure in the NCAAs until Houston kept coming.
I think the ACC hurt Duke in a big way.
And so they just and when you look at Florida and Houston, they faced game pressure all tournament long, and they've been able to respond every time. And I love Kelvin Sampson. He's always been one of my favorite coaches. I had people look at me crossways when I wanted him to be on the short list before Nate Oates was hired because even though I figured he wouldn't leave Houston. Yeah. But he's just been so tough-minded. I love the way his teams play. I still think, I don't know what happened, who didn't like him. I still say it was the
NCAA issues, I'll say, probably.
That was it was phone calls, for God's sake. It was somebody at Indiana that didn't like him. Or something. I don't know. It's like when UCLA coaches get fired. Some booster doesn't like them, starts feeding somebody information. Jay Billis has talked about this. And they fire guys like Ben Howland at UCLA. How's that worked out?
Kelvin Sampson would be the oldest coach to win a national championship at 69 years old. And if he were to win tonight, it would be career win number 800 for Kelvin Sampson.
He won at Washington State. He won at Oklahoma. Yeah. You know, he was winning at Indiana. He's come back and revived Houston. Like I told Bobby Champagne this morning, there's just one thing you got to do, Coach. If you guys win it, please tell the security guards who Akeem Olajuwon is.
Yes.
Please. Yes. So they let him on the stage.
How about that? They didn't let him on the stage after
the let him on the floor. Hello. He's
Akeem Olajuwon.
I don't even think the security guard knew who he was. But I will say this, Wes. I mean, you run around with some highfalutin people. Maybe y'all could pull this off. But when Alabama beat Houston 3 years ago, when Brandon Miller was there, Dream called at 11 a.m. for a 1 o'clock tip-off and wanted 10 floor seats. Only Dream could do that.
Yeah.
If you
can't get on the floor.
Right about that. I mean, if you actually got them, that's the truth.
Well, Bobby Champagne didn't tell us if he did get them, but I'm assuming he probably did. Because I think I remember him being there.
Hard to do.
And to top it all off, Wes, the Houston's arena is only 7,100 seats. So,
but let's. What is your thoughts on what happened to Auburn in the second half against Florida, Wes?
You know, I just think they got tired. I think Florida wore them out, wore them down. You know, Broom, a warrior. You know, the guy's been playing hurt for all year.
Yeah,
and I think they look tired at the end. They just look tired. and missed a couple of shots. You know, there's not much difference between, and the other thing is, I was talking to somebody, Alabama and Auburn are built to play each other and not these real tall teams. And they struggle with it. You know, Alabama and Auburn are 0-4 against Florida this year.
That's right.
That's right.
And that was the closest game. You watched it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I know everybody pointing to the 12 turnovers, but honestly, I saw some better execution, honestly, out of Florida in the second half. And Walter Clayton Jr.
I'll just say this. I said this morning.
He's on himself a heater.
If Walter Clayton Jr., if they win this national championship and he goes for another 25 to 30 burger, because when you're mentioned with Larry Joe Bird, you definitely are on a short list of great players. And I know what Billy had, and he won 2 in a row. But if the Gators end up 36-4 and national champs, and Clayton does it again, he's the greatest Gator of them all.
There have only been 4 players in the last 50 years to have 3 straight 30-point games at any point during the NCAA tournament. Those are Jimmer Fredette in 2011, Steph Curry in 2008, Glenn Rice in 94. Glenn Robinson in 94 and Glenn Rice in 89.
Yeah, Glenn Rice, they won the national championship.
Right.
94, the big dog, they put out Alabama in the second round and then ended up going to the Elite Eight, and the Duke Blue Devils and Grant Hill put them out in the regional finals. But Walter Clayton is the best player, best guard in college basketball. He's the best one I've seen all year. He makes difficult shots, and he makes them look easy. And I just thought –
contested shots.
Yeah, I just thought at the end of the game – Florida did the right thing. They were getting the ball to him, and Auburn couldn't stay in front of him. And Auburn has good defensive guards, but they just could not stay in front of Clayton.
What's that, Wes?
I would say great defensive guard. You know, he's just and what's underrated with him is he's really good defensive player too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then his backcourt mate Elijah Martin is better than the guy he replaced last year. And that dunk, that send it in, that will be one of the first shining moments that you'll see. I mean, Chad Baker-Mazara and Tahad Pettiford just going flying after he decides to, dunk the ball on their heads. I mean, that was and the thing is, he didn't play in the first game. And that's what I was worried about for Auburn's sake is Elijah Martin. I saw him against Alabama. He's just an above the rim freakazoid. He's not a great shooter, but he's a really good defender. Like you saw that open floor play where he got the steal and jetted ahead of Broom.
Yeah.
Broom did Jonai did a great job of just, hey, I'm losing this battle. Just let him dunk it because you're not going to catch that guy. I mean, he just has a different gear. And I actually thought the first half, Auburn played probably their best half of the year. I thought they outplayed Florida both in the backcourt and the front court.
Said, they got tired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Florida just keeps pounding. And they've got 9 guys, and they're healthy. And, and the only thing down the stretch that did kind of me was nobody wanted to shoot free throws but Clayton, even Hal. I mean, Hal is a guy that shoots 81%, but he did not seem to want it. Richard can make them too, but you have to get the ball. But I thought it was Florida basketball in a nutshell when they did miss the 2 free throws. Hal did, and then of course Florida gets the offensive rebound and kicks it back out to Clayton, and he's not going to miss.
Did you see the point spread for this game tonight, Wes?
I did not.
What would you set the point spread at then?
I would say Florida +5.
Florida is a 1.5 point favorite. 1.5 point favorite. The Gators are a 1.5 point favorite. Opened up as a 1 point favorite for Florida. It's only moved very slight here as we're approaching tip here in a couple hours.
Look out. Houston might win it all.
We shall see. Well, safe travels to you, Wes, and it's always good to catch up.
Thank you very much. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you, Wes.
Boy, man, he was quick on that trigger.
He gone. Well,
man,
he's a busy man. Well,
bam.
But Chinyalu, that offensive rebound he got was a man's offensive rebound, and I've seen them do that to Alabama over and over again. you just and that's what's going to be fascinating about this game because when I went back and checked it because I thought it was pretty one-sided and it doesn't matter, and that's the beautiful thing about Kelvin Sampson. He doesn't care about being the smaller team.
Yeah.
Houston just whipped Duke on the offensive glass and on the glass period. And Duke is just a huge team. And then watching Malawatch dominate Cliff Amore, it was just like, man, this guy's a monster. Houston completely took him out of the game. He had 6 points. He wasn't a factor on the glass. They kept trying to set up Malawatch at the rim. No soup for you. Houston was ready for him, and he was not going to beat them. I thought Flagg was tremendous.
He was. I know everybody points to that final shot, the fadeaway, but that is
that's a tough shot.
Really tough shot.
It really is, and and I thought Knipple was great. I thought Tyrese Proctor, after having a great tournament, was horrendous. I thought it was really, if somebody lost the game, it was Tyrese Proctor because he's supposed to see Duke. The one weakness they had was they didn't really have a true point guard. Zion James was trying to do it. He wasn't even really good at inbounding the ball. Because I thought Knipple was open a couple times. He was hesitant. He was late on the trigger. But I just felt like that Tyrese, when he reclassified 3 years ago out of Australia, he was supposed to be a lottery pick. He ain't a lottery pick because, for one, he's not a good enough handler to be a one. And because late they were trying to get him the ball going toward the rim, he was dribbling it off his shin. And then I know he made 3 out of 4, but he's only a 68% free throw shooter. I was not shocked when he missed the front end. And I was like, here we go, because that opened the door. And then Jawan Roberts, he got fouled, and he only shoots in the 60s. But you could just look at him and tell he's not missing these free throws.
By the way, right now over on Talk Radio, WZZN, that's our HD.2 channel, the Final Four show is going on right now as we speak. And we're walking you up to Hey Coach and the Nate Oates Show. And as soon as we're done to Hey Coach and the Nate Oates Show, there'll be a smaller pregame. Tip-off, I believe, is around 7:40-ish. And you'll be able to hear it tonight both on Talk Radio, WZZN, and right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Seth Greenberg, he had this to say on what the Gators need to bring to the table tonight.
It starts with their defense. They got to get stops. They got to get stops so they can play ahead of that defense, so they can get Walter Clayton in space attacking, playing downhill, but more importantly, flattening that defense out. Because if you flatten out in transition when the ball comes out, they've got to close out. And then you've got to compete. What I mean by that is everyone's competing. They think about defensively. You got to compete offensively. What does that mean? Set hard screens. Cut hard. Be strong with the basketball. If you drive it in the lane, land on 2 feet, make a good decision. All right, take what the defense gives you. But if you're playing against Houston and you don't compete offensively, they are going to push you out. They're going to let you in one shot, and you're going to have a problem. The big X factor in this thing is everyone's talking about Houston's rebounding. This Florida team rebounds almost 40% of the misses. That's a higher percentage than Houston.
That is something key right there. That's why I wanted to play it from Seth Greenberg on Florida's ability to rebound the basketball. It certainly bit Duke in a very critical time with under, I think, about 20 seconds to go. And that dunk off of the missed three.
Well, I mean, both of them have great rebounding teams and really good front lines, but I think the winner is going to be which guards play better. Cryer was really good against Duke. So was Sharp. He made a huge 3 late. And then you got Walter Clayton and Elijah Martin. So to me, it's going to be which guards play better. Who
the more I see a Sharp, the more I like him.
Maybe, or even a guy off the bench for Houston like Arsenault. He was big against Tennessee, or Aberdeen for Florida. Somebody's going to have to step up and really play well. But I think it's going to be a great final. I mean, it's a golden opportunity for Houston. I've said this on Talking Ball. I think the greatest team to never win it was Vice-Lama Jama in 83 and then in 84.
This would be their first title in school history tonight.
Right. They lost back-to-back finals to NC State and Georgetown. I think the 83 team was probably the most talented. But that's probably the greatest team to never win it. And it's, to me, still the biggest upset in history when NC State found a way to beat, Akeem and those guys. In the finals. And then I know the Villanova one 2 years later was huge over Georgetown, but it still wasn't.
That was as perfect of a game as I've ever witnessed before, with or without
NC State is still a bigger upset because NC State had to win their conference tournament to get in.
That's true.
They had so much game pressure on them. I know they beat Georgia pretty good in the semifinal, but the other 4 rounds or whatnot to get to the Final Four, they had several, including first round against Jim Herrick and Pepperdine, where it looked like they were done until Pepperdine missed some free throws. If you watch that 30 for 30, that NC State team, that was almost like destiny.
It really was. I mean, what had to fall right for them, it
did. And
but that Villanova, if there was one game that someone played, the entire team playing perfect for the entire 40 minutes, it was that game, the Villanova win over Georgetown.
And it's kind of funny how it circles back, but this Duke team and how good they were, it reminded me of that loss on Saturday night, reminded me of when the Blue Devils got unbeaten UNLV.
Okay.
It reminded me of that, where everything had to fall the other team's way down the stretch to pull off the upset, and it did. I mean, I still think Cooper Flagg was the best player on the floor. Thought he played exceptional basketball, but it's a team game, and it's a credit to Kelvin Sampson and the toughness that his teams play with, to overcome that technical, which even Bobby Champagne said he thought, wow, that's going to be tough to overcome. But whenever they had to, Houston knocked in big shots.
Yeah.
They just did over and over and over again. And it just felt like it was just tightening on Duke. Like the screws were tightening. They just weren't responding. You didn't see guys even when they were calling timeouts, trying to set up inbounds plays, they could not get the ball in.
Yeah.
And so they just did not handle the pressure very well.
By the way, the physicality of Saturday, both games, the physicality,
that's what basketball is. It's
what it is.
Well, and I'll just say this: if you're an Alabama or an Auburn fan, you still have to feel really good about where your programs are because you both beat Houston. Okay,
that's right.
So that's when I get a little heated when people will text me and be like, "Oh, they just can't. They can't play against physicality." They beat Houston, man. They can play against physicality.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's matchups.
It's not. Oh, Nado's system can only beat certain teams. No,
I don't buy that either.
It's matchups. You got to keep chopping. It took Coach K nearly a decade to win one.
Yeah.
And I still say this. It was the best Auburn team in history this year.
It was.
The hardest thing to do in sports, in my opinion, is to win the NCAA men's basketball tournament because it ain't the NBA where you have 6 or 7, 5, 6, 7 games or whatever. And then they decide, well, I didn't play hard last night. Well, I'll play hard tonight. That's not what it is. You don't get another opportunity. It's a one and done deal. If you have one bad game, for example, Duke would have been a favorite in a 7-game series to probably win in 6 over Houston.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
But you get one chance.
One chance.
And Houston closed the deal, and they rightfully are there. And it's going to be a fascinating final because Todd Golden's team, I thought they were going to be really good, and I really liked Walter Clayton, but he got better every year.
Mm-hmm.
And this Gator team, Elijah Martin was kind of the perfect piece to the one starter they had to replace.
Yeah. And
then they got Chinyelu out of the portal from Washington State. I just give Todd Golden and his team a lot of credit. Now I will say this: I thought Florida got a little sloppy at the end of the Auburn game. I still give the coaching advantage tonight to Sampson because I just think he's been to the Final Four before. This will be his first national championship game, but his team is They compete till the bitter end.
I think this is going to be a great matchup.
I think it will go to the last 2 minutes.
I'm really excited to see this matchup.
But the reason I give Florida a slight edge is because of Clayton, because I think he's the best player on the floor.
Yeah.
But again, if LJ Cryer continues to shoot the ball like he's done, and I think it'll be history. I think LJ Cryer would be the first player in NCAA history to win 2 rings with 2 different schools.
Yeah,
because he came off the bench for the Baylor team that beat Gonzaga during the Dr. Dumbass tournament, and then he would, he would be a
best way to put it.
And he's a starter on this Houston team. And as Bobby Champagne told us, he's a Houston kid who wanted a bigger role and wanted to come to Houston. But again, you have to be vetted by Kelvin Sampson. Do you fit in the program? And he wants his type of people. And if Kelvin Sampson kind of stamps you, you're a tough kid.
I have got some audio from Coach Kalen DeBoer. We started things out talking about the second scrimmage on Friday. We'll hear from Coach DeBoer. Plus, we'll also hear from Mike Mayock and what he deems as the biggest diamond in the rough in the NFL draft. Have you heard this?
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with a real quick quiz. Out of all the manufacturers, do you know which auto company employs the most hourly workers in America? Ford. Do you know which company assembles the most vehicles in this country? Ford. That's not just a coincidence. It's a commitment. A 120-year-old commitment to build in America for America. And during this unprecedented moment in automotive history, you stand to benefit big time. Woody Anderson Ford is now offering employee pricing. You pay what we pay. We've got over 190 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Employee pricing can save you thousands off MSRP, and with over 600 Fords for you to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find just exactly what you're looking for. This offer ends May 31st, so hurry in. Woody Anderson Ford.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC. SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Our customers want best-in-class solutions. That's why we've recently added many new vendors like Zebra barcode printers. Our next level team has added premier automation solutions. We're not here to sell you just one product, and we love helping you find the right solution to your specific needs. That's what doing the right thing is all about, and that's why our customers have come back for over 50 years.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Rocket City, for air that's cool and clean, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get HVAC smart with Professor Green and the expert team at sensagreen.com. Now offering up to $1,500 off any new Bryant system. Whatever it takes, Sensa Green has Huntsville covered. Remember, folks, with innovative, sensible green solutions, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Back here at Carrabba's Italian Grill. What to get on the menu here tonight at Carrabba's Italian Grill. I'll tell you one thing in particular. The filet and shrimp pasta Toscana is, I'm telling you, the filet shrimp pasta Toscana is fantastic here. So that might be my go-to here tonight. But you can enjoy Carrabba's Italian Grill. Just head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. click on the upper left-hand banner, which reads "Savings never tasted so good," and away you go. Get $50 for just $25. I am getting thirsty. He would like a Diet Coke. But I mean, I've got a Coke, right? Believe it or not, this is a Coke, ladies and gentlemen. We are on camera, but this is a Coke right here. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So
I'd like some Diet Coke, I guess, in my wine glass with some ice, so I can say I actually did that at Carrabba's Italian Grill. I had Diet Coke in a wine glass.
This is not wine, although the troll back in the day would put ice in his glass with wine as well.
Yeah, we could still do that.
Well, we'll order later.
Yeah.
But
I would, some ice and some Diet Coke would be great.
And so Brian Temple, I wish I could plug in something for you as well.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
A refill for Steve Moulton.
That's right.
Speaking of refills.
Yeah.
Mo D not leaving the SEC.
How about that?
Yeah. I wonder if Jeff and the Burrow is going to talk junk about this. Mo Diabati.
Big Blue Nation.
Going to the Big Blue Nation. Need to text Jack Pilgrim. I'm sure he's going to be excited about this.
Yeah.
Mo Diabati. There we go. And speaking of Mo Diabati of Carrabba's, he's now got the headset on.
How we doing, Josh?
Well, good afternoon, gentlemen. How y'all been?
Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
Always a pleasure.
And that's a compliment calling you Mo Diabati, by the way.
You tuning in for a little basketball tonight?
I am.
So how's your bracket? Wes's is good. Mine was great until Duke couldn't finish.
This is the first time in the history that I've actually
His is spectacular.
I picked the final.
I had Florida and Duke.
Yeah.
I picked Houston.
Yeah. He had Florida and Houston. I had Florida and Duke. It was great. It was looking great. Then
my one double-digit seed that I had going the furthest was Arkansas. Had them losing to Texas Tech.
Right.
So, and I really thought Arkansas messed up and figured out a way to lose.
Well,
that game.
I mean, I had a good run. I had 10 of the Sweet 16, 7 of the Elite 8. The only one I had losing was St. John's. And then I had, of course, half of the Final Four. And then
I had 3 of the Final Four.
And then because
I had Bama in the Final Four beating Duke.
Well, no, we'll see. Well, and let me correct myself because I would have had I had Duke, I had Florida. Oh wow, this is spectacular. Look at this right here.
I've already gotten a couple of text messages because we're on camera.
And let me correct myself here. I did get 3 of the Final Four. I had Duke because I had Duke beating Alabama, and then I had Auburn and Florida. I just did not get because I had Tennessee. I had Tennessee taking out Houston. I thought 3 of the Final 4 would come from the SEC, like 85 Big East. So, but I did have a good run, and then I thought I was going to get that Florida and Duke in the final, and it just didn't happen.
There is plenty of 1 seeds in this menu.
Yeah,
tell me your 1 seed.
Yeah,
here on the menu.
I mean, so the one I would say the 1 seed we got right now is our lamb chops, and it's one of our specials going on for the next couple months. And then the lollipops, they're not the T-bones like we used to have.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Backed by popular demand. Go figure. And it's a bourbon mint demi-glaze. I highly recommend y'all get them. They're amazing.
Ooh.
Yes. You can eat them rare, mid-rare, medium, however you want. I somehow turn into a carnivore, I guess, when I eat these things because I feel like I'm back in the Flintstones age. So,
Okay. Wow.
Amazing feeling. Great flavor.
What is this again? What?
So it's the lamb chops.
Okay.
Lamb chops.
Yeah. They're specials.
Nice.
And I would say that's definitely one of our favorites. Normally, it's definitely the pork chops. Pork chops you can't go wrong with, no matter what. It's our grill seasoning, and then
it's
the
pretty.
grill base.
It's a pretty thick cut too.
Yeah, they're double boned, and you get once you get to the third one, you're like, okay, I go for the gold, or I just kind of tap out right now. I enjoy this later for dessert.
Well.
Oh my goodness!
Big guy's, of course, not here tonight, so
yeah.
He went with the pork chop the last time, and I could tell. Even he after that meal said that was a very hearty meal.
It is, and then backed by popular demand as well is the minestrone soup. Everybody's been asking me that for like the last 3.5 years I've been here, and so I'm like I asked my prepper Jessiano, I'm like, hey, how do we get this minestrone back? And he goes, need the beans. Bring me the beans. And I'm like, so I got him the beans.
Got the beans.
That's all you need.
Got the beans.
It's a very hearty dish as far as like a soup.
Yeah.
It's potato, cabbage. It is fantastic. Has a great flavor to it. We of course have the Mama Mandela's Sicilian penicillin chicken soup, and then the sausage and lentil. You can't go
sausage
wrong.
and lentil is tremendous.
You got a great selection, and it's all handmade here from scratch. So if we mess up in the prep, you can let us know how you feel about it. People do when we mess up, we mess up, and I appreciate it. And so,
do you really?
Exactly, because I'm like, I go back, I'm like, Justiano, the salt and pepper.
Well,
whoops.
I can just tell you the lentil soup with the bread.
Well, I'll have you know that a couple of weeks ago, my wife was not feeling well, and I said, chicken soup from Carrabba's. I mean, I don't know what you put in there, but it's fantastic.
Wow. It's the love, sweat and tears. Definitely the love. Yeah, made from scratch recipes. It's amazing. We enjoy it here. The love of food, and the recipe's been passed down from generation to generation in the Carrabba's family. Johnny Carrabba and Damon Mandola wanted to start a restaurant in 1985 and came out with Carrabba's. It's Italian-American.
Yeah. I appreciate us being in the main room as well, but you've got the banquet room there in the corner as well.
We do. We've been getting that's been getting a little popular this year so far.
Good.
It's building up traction.
Well, I mean, it's just it's right off the Parkway here, and it's just can't get better than this.
Yeah,
right here at Carrabba.
I'm going to tell you something too. I mean, nothing like having it 9:30 in the morning. That was a special privilege, but it's usually be lunch. But don't forget the Italian dip sandwich.
Here we go
with the fruit salad. Holy Toledo! We're talking, and we had that at 9:30 in the morning, courtesy of Josh. And then I had it at 5 o'clock when I came back by for the show. That's the first time I've ever had, brunch. I'll call it brunch because that's what it was.
Yeah.
And then dinner of the same meal and didn't care.
And that's the crazy part about us is like all of a sudden we got sandwiches. I'm like, oh yeah, we're doing sandwiches now.
Josh was like, hey, here's something for you guys. And Scott and I looked at it. Needless to say, the tapeworm finished it off before I did. But I'm just saying it was tremendous. Like, wow, I didn't even know they had a sandwich.
And
wow.
We used to have a hoagie, and then we went to the what do you call it? Can't think of it. The bread. We changed up the
ciabatta?
Bread. Yes. And so we went with that. Man, and then
I've been around the tapeworm enough. I'm learning food.
How about that?
And then all of a sudden we went from that bread to it's a bigger, nicer like sandwich bread.
Right.
And we've been over the years. The best part about Carrabba is we've just been trying to figure out what works best for the guests that come in. What do they enjoy? What do they want?
Fresh bread, there's nothing like it. I mean,
well-
I'm just telling you, it's and good ciabatta bread. It's just, I'm just telling you.
Well, one of the times that we've been here, you were testing out seasoning to go with the bread that goes on the table.
Yep.
I mean, and just everything is inspected here.
Yep. Yeah, we have our garlic butter. We started doing that again.
Mm.
Hallelujah. That stuff is fantastic. I don't look at the calories when I come to go get anywhere
I don't
else
know
for
what
like
you're talking
a
about.
pizza, but when I go to Italian, I don't look at that. I'm like, what's going to make me happy? And that's what I look
a
at.
great way. That's a great slogan for this place, actually.
What's going to make me happy?
Be happy.
Good stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm definitely a Gator fan. I got a chance to finally watch the game twice this season. Last night, my wife really wasn't into it. She's an Alabama fan. I don't put anything past it. I'm like, I love you still.
Right.
For the last 10 years, she's been trying to convert me to Bama, and I'm like, I will root for your team as long as we're not playing. But then about 8 minutes left in the game, she starts zoning in on the game. It gets exciting, and she's like, "Wow, I'm so glad we watched that." I'm like, yes, honey. I'm glad you wanted to watch that with me. And we had a great time. And so I told her the game's on tonight. I'm not closing, so I'm going to get a chance to
there you go.
watch
That's
it again.
Nice.
But I was excited to watch them. I was wondering what was going on with Florida this year, and I got a chance to see it. I think I think I know their secret. So you know how with most teams they have different ways of practicing and conditioning.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the coach was like, hey, so we're not going to pick up a basketball. We're just going to go outside and run track for the next 2 or 3 months before we actually pick up a basketball. They outran. I think they by the end of the game, they're just not even breathing heavy. I mean, their conditioning was top notch. It was amazing.
It's funny and you're the patriarch of this great restaurant, but Todd Golden is kind of a he's ahead of his time a little
He
bit.
really is.
He's kind of like another Bucky McMillan. Bucky just went to Samford. Just 10 years ago, he was basically a director of basketball operations with Bruce Pearl at Auburn. He played at St. Mary's. He's really, really connected in international recruiting. That's how he's built this roster. He's got guys from Australia. He's got guys from, Chinyalu is from overseas. He's done a great job of recruiting, because a lot of these guys are top 100 players, but they're not McDonald's All-Americans, but he knows how to identify talent. He did it at the University of San Francisco before he came to Florida. And he's finally the guy. It's tough to replace a legend like Billy Donovan, but he's just a young, energetic guy that knows how to develop players and find talent. And I'm just telling you, it's been kind of cool to watch. I mean, that Florida team is the best team that I saw live this year. They were the best team I saw play.
Todd Golden was 0-2. 0-2 as a head coach entering into the NCAA tournament. In the last 60 years, there have only been 2 head coaches to win a national title entering into the tournament winless with multiple games, and that is Kevin Ollie back in 2014 and Steve Fisher in 1989.
Yep.
So there you go.
And Scott company. I gave Scott like 15 chances today. He just couldn't remember Steve Fisher's name. Kept saying, come on, you got it.
And then the head coach for Auburn, that was
Bruce
his mentor.
That's right. Yes.
And we were watching. I'm like, oh my goodness, what are we watching here? Like, he's like, he's hungry. I promise you should hire this guy. And I'm like, thank you, Lord. I appreciate that one. Thanks, Bruce.
So apparently we need to go to a break because we're getting some bread here. But
the bread.
I'm just telling you. Oh, wow. It's fantastic.
So we got 9 herbs and spices. We always call it a Probs 22 because it's always a problem to remember it. There's parsley, rosemary, oregano, basil, salt.
I wish my house smelled like that.
And this needs
you guys
to be a
like
candle.
bottle that?
This needs to be a candle.
So
that's a great point. A candle.
Pepper, fresh red pepper, and then you got fresh garlic, and then garlic as well. So you got 2 different types of garlic: the ground garlic and fresh garlic. And so the good news is about Carrabba's, you come here, you don't have to worry about vampires. Got plenty of garlic. It's so amazing. My wife, it's so amazing that my wife loves cooking with garlic, and I'm like, I come home, she's like, "Oh, honey, look, more garlic." I'm like, I haven't left Carrabba's at all.
Yeah, there you go.
Josh, it's always great to see you, sir.
Good to see you, sir.
Pleasure.
Good luck for your Gators tonight, man.
Well, thank y'all for coming out.
We're gonna have some bread right here. All right, Brian, that's your cue to go to a break. Unless you want to hear me eating on the air. There you go. There you go.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of 12 world-famous theme parks, Orlando, Florida. With flights starting as low as just $49, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Orlando. Make all their dreams come true. Book nonstop to Orlando now at flybreeze.com.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer again. March Madness is here, and it's time to hoop it up at Baumhauer's Victory Grill with our Slam Dunk specials. It's nothing but net with a pound of our world-famous wings. Tip it off with our party-ready trays, including traditional wings, buttermilk fried chicken tenders, and hot lips, to name a few. Want a cold beer with those wings? How about $7.99 pitchers of Yingling served all day, 7 days a week? Break out those brackets and bring the gang to the best watch party place in town, Baumhauer's Victory Grill, the true king of wings.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID, and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. At Newmarket, Jefferson's will be opening a new location at 2190 County Road 65 very soon. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. Hampton Cove, and soon in Newmarket.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. A chilly and quiet night expected for this Monday night. Mostly clear sky to be expected. Low temperatures going to be falling into the upper 30s heading into Tuesday. Plenty of sunshine in the forecast. High temperatures reaching the upper 50s once again. It could get breezy at times. It looks like rain doesn't return back to the forecast until Thursday. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
And get a ticket? Never miss a second of Huntsville Havoc hockey.
Huntsville has a 2-on-9, and that's it. Okay, tic-tac-toe, and off we go to Pensacola.
With the Havoc Zone, only on 97.7 ESPN.com and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
Had to wait for the post right there. Boy, that takes me back to the mid-'80s.
Yep.
Some WWF action back in the day.
Yep.
Rudy Arman, Steve Moulton winding things down here at Carrabba's Italian Grill.
Okay, guys, I got to take issue with this.
During
the commercial break, cameras are still up.
Mm.
You guys keep taunting me with that delicious-looking Carrabba's.
That's fantastic.
And you have no manners at all. You eat it right into the mic.
There you
Thanks
go.
a bunch.
There you go.
However,
I didn't
however,
actually.
I already
I-
have approval to get some of that minestrone to take home.
There you go.
That is always a good choice. That and fettuccine wheezy. are on our
They got the
rotation.
beans. They got the beans.
Those are on our high rotation thing.
Yep.
There you go.
Now we just need some onions from my guy Walter Clayton tonight. A triple
With
order.
onions.
Well,
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I'm gonna miss Blake Campbell.
Like Bill Raftery is in his 80s, and his voice is as strong as ever.
Isn't it?
I mean, it's unbelievable.
And by the way, for people that don't understand what he's saying right off the gate,
Minuteman,
he's talking about the defense.
All right. And then what I loved in the last broadcast is he brought up Big John. John Thompson, because he coached against all those guys, and people don't understand that.
Met him twice, and he was so, to me, intimidating, but was as nice as he could be.
And then people like I gave Freddie Kirby this trivia question. I'll give it to you. People don't understand it's not talked about because of who he backed up. But Big John was an NBA player.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, and people don't really realize it because of who he backed up.
I'll say Wes Unseld.
Well, you're in that class, but he played at Providence. Did Big John?
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
And so, but he and again, let me preface this by saying, when I was a kid, I couldn't stand Georgetown. I couldn't stand Big John.
Yeah.
But then I over the years, you watch basketball, and then you hear Big John speak after games and during watch him coach, and then especially when he became a really good broadcaster.
It was during the Westwood One time is when I met Big John.
Yeah, he's just
nice as he could.
I mean, there's just no. I miss him a lot. And he meant a lot to college basketball and what he was able to, to the barriers that he broke and look, Georgetown has never been the same.
That towel over the right
I know
shoulder.
His son had a good run, but Georgetown's still not been Georgetown since Big John retired.
So who did he back up? Tell me.
Guy had 11 rings that he backed up.
That's Bill Russell.
He
backed up Bill Russell
with the Celtics.
Well, of course he backed up.
I told you.
That's why he never saw the court, because he's Bill
Exactly.
Russell. I mean,
but he absorbed a lot from Red Auerbach. There you go, Big John.
By the way, I'm halfway through the Celtic documentary on Max. I think you would really love it. I love it, and I'm not a Celtic guy. I'm just. For every fiber of my being, I'm waiting for the Hawks. Anyway.
I just saw that the other day about the 60-point game again. All those guys getting fined because they started cheering for Larry.
Yep.
Austin Carr, all those guys.
Antoine Carr,
I'm sorry. And then I think even News Cliff Livingston, was he not on that team?
That's right.
I call him News because that was his nickname when he was on the Bulls, was News. But
Cliff Livingston always had a smile on his face.
Exactly. He was News because he's always talking.
I at least wanted to play this for you. Mike Mayock went on the Rich Eisen show last week. And, of course, the NFL draft is coming up on the 24th. That's the first day. He went into his surprises for the NFL draft. Enjoy.
Then I go to the guy that I get a twinkle in my eye on a little bit, and that's Jalen Milroe from Alabama. And when I look at it, I go, okay, what does he do well? Well, he's a runner like I put him in the same category as Jaden Daniels and Lamar Jackson. How fast is he? As fast as he needs to be. And he's 20 pounds heavier than those two guys. Does he have some accuracy and inconsistency? 100%, which is why him going in the second or third round, Andrew, I think is perfect. First round quarterbacks come with this pressure and you got to play them right now. I'd love to see him behind like the LA Rams and Matthew Stafford. Are you kidding me? No pressure to play, the opportunity to sit behind an established quarterback and play caller in Sean McVay. I think he's a 2 to 3 year project, but if somebody rubs this piece of coal, I think he could turn into a diamond.
Gonna need a whole lot of rubbing because quarterbacking is from the neck up. It's not just about athleticism.
It is not.
I do think he would fit better in a scheme like, with Lamar Jackson and what they do with Baltimore.
The Ravens, yeah.
Because that's where who he's always been compared to.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would work. No question about it, because they use the mobility of the quarterback.
There's talk of him being a second-round draft pick.
I think, to me, the earliest would be the third round. I personally wouldn't draft him until 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th.
But because I
wouldn't want
NFL teams go nutty over.
I don't want to put a lot of money into him. Yeah. He would be a developmental player, but he just has so many issues. It's not with arm strength; it's the accuracy and the decision making and throwing the ball on time. And so I just think that that's where I think his biggest issues are. Athletically, he's the best athlete in the draft at the quarterback position, but there's a whole lot more quarterback play than that.
A big thank you to Carrabba's Italian Grill for hosting us. Again, you can get $50 for just $25. Head over to our website. Also, our website being 977ESPN.com. Congratulations to Taylor Zarzer.
Yeah.
He is the new voice of the Tennessee Titans.
Mm-hmm.
So, known Taylor quite a while. He's from the Mobile area.
Good friend of mine, David Reese, did some broadcasting with him. And congrats to Taylor. He's been kind of climbing up the profession.
Yes, he is. Don't forget, you can hear the championship game tonight right here. Well, actually on both stations. Hey, Coach is next.
Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with a real quick quiz. Out of all the manufacturers, do you know which auto company employs the most hourly workers in America? Ford. Do you know which company assembles the most vehicles in this country? Ford. That's not just a coincidence. It's a commitment. a 120-year-old commitment to build in America for America. And during this unprecedented moment in automotive history, you stand to benefit big time. Woody Anderson Ford is now offering employee pricing. You pay what we pay. We've got over 190 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year.